I'm Dylan,
And I'm Devin.
and we're
We're
the
the
Plantsmiths. It's so stupid. I love it. It's so corny. It's perfect. Hi. Yes. So we're the Plantsmiths. That's what we're going by here. And we're just two friends who build Rikka Sunavalon and test it a lot. And we've this is going to be our first video, I guess. Here, yeah.
Yep. We haven't posted one yet.
And today we're actually going to show you how to play it post Banlist. Don't worry, we can still do every single full combo that we had access to before with just Loci. It's just that naturally we're a little bit more frail to hand traps because we don't.
Yeah, because we can't get we can't Loci more than once per turn, which is like, or a dryas more than once per turn, which is like a really big thing. With like a low and fire tribute dryas in order to put out another Loci to go into another dryas. But I feel like it essentially works the same, and we also freed up an extra deck spot.
Yeah, so it did allow us to get a little bit more. Our list before was a little tight actually too. There are some cards in our extra now that we weren't able to play before. We weren't playing Thrasher. That was a choice. But we've always really liked Alcay, and we never were able to fit it in. And this ban list actually just gave us a lot more room in the extra deck to kind of play around with. And if you open an extender, you can still do really big combos with this deck. It's not hard. So when the ban list hit, immediately I saw two kind of schools of plant thought. The first is just that, we're going to wait for the aroma support, and that's fair. The aroma support's very good. And then the other was, let's do Casino Plant, which I also think is very good, as it's a little bit more free flow, and it has a little bit less weakness to hand traps because of that. But as Devin said, we just like normal.
I love the combo,
killing our opponent. So that's what we're here to do today. So this is the list that we came up with here. It's pretty standard. It's a 50 card Rikka list. We could definitely trim it, but we don't mind playing piles. We're running 3 Loci and the 1 twin. Nothing changes here. We still want to see Loci as much as possible in this instance. The sowing, however, goes down to 1, and that's because we actually just want to search it off of the dryas.
Yeah, we can't get dryas more than once per turn. I mean, Sunvine sowing is a cool extra body, but I don't think we have. I don't really want to go up to 51. We just put it to 50 instead of 48. Which there's consistency issues where I'd actually like to see Loci, but I think sowing at 1 works really well.
Yeah, we especially don't need the second sowing because of the fact that we don't have multiple dryas now. To compensate for that, that sort of less valuable extension package that we're having backup to, we're still committed fully to playing more defensive cards like triple tactics talents. We've put to 3, and we're playing called by. And again, if you open an extender, you can still play. We're still playing the defensive offensive tool of Droplet because it helps us go second, and it's an interruption going first. And it lets us play around Droll going second actually as well.
If you want to play Thrust, I would cut Droplet. The only reason we have Droplet is because I'm scared of Centurion. I don't like the Calamity Lock. And I think that Droplet works really well against it.
But you could definitely just as easily slot in Thrust here as another defensive punish card. The biggest issue with this deck is because of that hand trap fragility. If you eat an Ash on something like your Dryas, it's really hard to kind of come back from that. Or if you eat an Imperm. There's nothing we can really do to help you about Imperm here. We would have to play Lance as your defensive, or Saravis, which is a horrific suggestion, might I add. That has
it's a funny thing
unless we're playing Valor. If we were playing Valor, it would kind of go hard. But we've decided to end on Droplet because it's safe, it's strong, and then we really just want to see talents more than Thrust anyways. If we get hit with an Ash, because we want to draw the cards really badly, or if we have enough gas to extend, we want to rip a card out of our opponent's hand to prevent them from messing with us further. So naturally we're playing even more, copies of Loci. Additionally, every small world is a copy of Loci. It's also everything in the deck, and every die.
Yeah, small is also a board breaker.
And then of course we're playing the 1-for-1. The beauty of Small World, is that in addition to just being Loci, it's also the one of Gamma Seal, and it's also either of our Pankratops, and it's also Spider Orchid, although we really won't ever use it. And it's also Ash, and it's also Droll. It's everything in the deck. We can always extend something into it. Having the ability to search whatever is great. Nothing changes here. You're all familiar with this. Every single Rikka card. You're familiar with these cards too, unless you've never played the deck before, right? You know that Petal is great. Mudon is great. Princess Tribute is great. These cards are less than great, but you still want to play them. These cards are great. These cards are great. This card's great. All of them are great. And then we've also opted to go down to 2 Lone Fires. Still same kind of similar ratio from before. It was either always 1 to 2, unless you were playing the pile, in which case maybe you'd want 3. But it's just less, it's important that we see it for our combo. We don't mind seeing it in our starting hand since we have 2, but we do want to extend through it in our combo. Especially
if
now.
if you do feel like this list hurt like the Sunseed version, you could always play 1 Lone Fire, 1 or 3 Petal, so you see your Rikka engine more. You get punished by Ash playing Lone Fire Blossom or like an Imperm, but it works a lot better in my opinion than 3 Petal. Because if you draw 1, you can still full combo if you have the second one. Because you really want to use the second one, you want to tribute. When you tribute off Jasmine, you really want to go into Lone Fire. Because that's what's going to get you your follow-up and Petal for next turn. Which is why I think 2 Lone Fire is important. But if you do want to play 3 Petal, I would just cut a Lone Fire out.
Indeed. And then on the topic of Petal, it's become increasingly difficult to make sure that Petal is in the graveyard at the end of your combo. That was a big concern that we saw just in you said in a lot of DB Grinder replays. You were seeing they just didn't dump Petal or have Petal in grave at the end of it.
They didn't end on Petal. I saw in the Discord that people were losing multiple interruptions just to put Petal in the grave, which I don't think you need to lose. I think that Petal is a lot easier to get into grave than a lot of people think because of the fact that you can always use a Lone Fire.
Indeed.
And it also gives you follow-up.
While I do think they are correct to prioritize getting rid of interruptions to get that Petal in the grave because that follow-up is so valuable, we actually just don't have to do that because we can just full combo and put Petal in the grave. And then, the rest of the deck is pretty standard. We're playing the Therians just because the negate is really good. If you open Lily Borea, you can still put a reg out before 5. It's a little bit more complex. We have a replay because you use the Lily Borea in the body now, or as a body in the combo now. Devin will be able to explain that a little bit better when we get to that combo because it's a little niche. And then we're playing hand traps and Duster. That's the main deck. It is pretty standard as far as Rikkavalon goes. And then our side is just like format. We just felt like it'd be really good to, 1, just Droll is universally good, and then 2, we just Labyrinth has gone untouched, and we just don't want to deal with that. And then Pankratops additionally is good in the lab, and so a lot of lab hate, and a lot of runic hate, just because,
and a lot of floodgate hate,
and a lot of floodgate hate. Even though those floodgates got hit, we still really just kind of don't want to deal with them. And then
the Drolls are for Manadium because Manadium is still full power, which we don't have a way to break Manadium boards as well as we could have with the 3 Dryas. So I think Droplet and Droll are just really strong in this format into it.
Yeah.
And multiple Evenly. If you draw more than 1.
Evenly is just a great card. You could also just as easily side 2 thrusts and 1 Evenly. You can side the Owie if you're playing thrusts. You can just tech it out however you really feel like it. The side is, that's your personal choice. This is just how we feel. We just don't like these matchups. We just have a mutual distaste for them. So that's what we've decided to play. But you can definitely adjust this side to however you feel. You can definitely adjust this deck list. This is a very flexible list still. A lot of non-engine room that you have here. That's at least 12 non-engine room. Although I really would, 13. I really would just say you probably 14. You do just have to play the talents though. It's just so good. It's so important to be defensive.
Talents also in turn allows you to play a card called Zeus, and
so
that
we do get to steal XCs
one card out a few decks.
It is
Pearly and
exceptionally good against Pearly, and it's exceptionally good against Unchained. If you activate Die and then you talents and then you take and then you make the Zeus with their XCs, they are forced to dog there. It's a horrible, horrible situation for them. They just absolutely despise it. But yeah, so that's where that is. And then the extra, originally it was thought that we needed 3 Melius to extend into some of these combos. We just found out in testing that that's not the case. We just need 2. It just matters that you have the extra body to banish off of Twin. And that's it. And we don't need the 3rd Melius. And it also makes Thrasher OTKs way easier because you just put 2 Meliuses out, and then all of a sudden this thing, like, can attack a lot because the Thrasher's pointing to the Melius.
If you really wanted to, play 3 Melius, you can cut an Alce, and you can put up full combo plus a Thrasher that can 1-tap your opponent, which I think is overkill, which is why we cut a Melius. But if you really want to do that, I mean, more power to you. You can.
But Melius
if you just throw in one more Melius.
It just does. If you can just manage to fit a Thrasher between them. I don't know how you do it. I don't know the line for that, but you can definitely just attack 6 times per game. Which is like, because this is not a hard once per turn. Another very funny card. But anyways, yeah, so the extra is pretty straightforward. With that extra space, we've taken it and we've put in an Alce. We're running the Zeus. We're running 2 Strenna, Hyperton, Teardrop, Jasmine, Bang, the 1 Dryas, Sad Face, 2 Melius, the 1 Healer, Sad Face, and then the Dance Peon because you have to gamble, and the Thrasher. So that's the deck.
The healers didn't hurt as much as the Dryases.
No,
Let's say that.
Hurt pretty bad, unfortunately. Thankfully, we've always had Laurel to compensate, which, in addition to being a really good card, is also just an extender. This was a card that we played in Sunavalon Therion, actually, just as our extender before we even had the Rikka support, and it's a really great card that I'm happy is coming back here. And it's, like I said, if you open it, it's a really good extender. But yeah, let's get into some of the replays here. So we're gonna. This is our first combo here. It's pretty straightforward.
This is just normal Loci, which is your normal combo before the ban list.
Yep. So we're gonna go Loci, Dryas, get the sewing, summon the Twin. Twin is gonna bring back, and then we're gonna summon the Thrasher here because we only have the 1 healer.
Yeah, with while we miss healer, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Healer only gain is 300 for nothing. We only did it so that way we can get 2 healers for Twin. But Thrasher works here. Essentially the same thing.
So we go for the Link 2, we'll make the Jasmine, and then we'll bring out the Lone Fight here, because we want to get it in rotation. I mean, we're going to make 5 summons anyways, you're just going to get rocked. That's just going to happen. And then
Lone Fire is always good to go through first.
Yeah, we want it in Graveyard so we can get into Petal. And then we're going to go into the Laurel here, and then we are going to Link 2 for the other Jasmine to get 2 searches here. And if you open Sewing, this is the first time you search, so you get drolled after picking up 2 bodies. Which is just 2 free extensions. Fantastic. Yeah, super good. So
if you do want to play round troll, you can search other cards too, other than Lily Borea, because I know Lily Borea just isn't perfect in draw.
Indeed. So we'll naturally do our normal Lily Borea stuff, get a Regulus here, and then we will go for a Link 3 to make the first Melius. Since we don't have 2 healer here, we're going to make 2 Melius to compensate, because we need to use the Twin Effect Engrave to get the 2 Jasmines back in rotation so we can search a 3rd time.
Yep.
So we're going to bring back our Loci. We are going to make our Reg here. We'll Link 3 into the other Melius with the other Jasmine, and then we will go ahead and Twin back that Jasmine.
By banishing one of the Meliuses?
And then we'll
because it doesn't matter.
Into the healer here. and that's how we're going to get that third search, which is fantastic. Gives us a little bit more life points too here. So we're going to go ahead and pick up Snowdrop here because we feel like it. We'll go make the bang. We'll go Mudon. Mudon effect, search Concon. And then from here, you're pretty familiar with everything, I would imagine. It can't be hard to possibly comprehend what you do from here. It's pretty standard Rikka
The only
stuff.
difference is you add Lone Fire to get Petal.
Well, you would always add Lone Fire here, and then instead you would just go for the Princess. So you have another in rotation. Here we're doing it so we can get the Petal in rotation.
For follow-up.
For follow-up.
We just rather have the follow-up.
Yep, it's just better follow-up. So we're going to go ahead and we'll make our Hyperton. We'll do all of our shit. We'll search up an extra body because we can here. So we could even search that additional Princess if we wanted. We're picking up a Mudon.
Mudon's just really strong.
It's just unbelievable. Yeah. It's just
Mudon's just really strong because it's a free tribute in the beginning of the turn next turn. So like on the clapback, if they have like a big body that you don't want on their board, you distribute it for cost.
If they have an out of that Concon, they're pretty doomed. Yeah, on that follow-up. So we'll continue from here. We'll make the rank 8, and that's it. That's our turn. And then of course we're going to use our teardrop on our opponent's turn to send the Petal. And even if they dark roll us or imperm or whatever, we'll just do it for cost anyways in end phase, so we can still send the Petal to the graveyard. That is our standard combo. It is off of one card, so you have 4 other blanks theoretically here in your hand right now. You end with 5 in hand if it's just Loci. So you have a lot of room for flex, you have a lot of room for extenders, a lot of room for gas. Yeah, it's just really good. It's fantastic. It's our full combo. Onto the next combo here. This one is you probably need to know it here because it's a little more confusing here.
A little confusing.
This is if you have the Laurel in your hand in the starter, because you just want to make sure your timing is a bit more proper because you're not summoning it from deck. So we're going to link one. We're going to search the sewing. We're going to go ahead and do everything that we just did.
Except for we do healer instead because we have Laurel.
And this is because we're going to get that heal anyways. So we need to have our life points higher than our opponents to summon the Laurel for free. If we do, it's an extender. For free. It's a free extender. And then it also is an extender that gains us life points. So in this instance, we're making the healer instead of the Thrasher first so that our life gets higher than our opponents and we can summon that Laurel for free. So we'll go ahead and make our Jasmine. We'll summon the Laurel out for free. We'll make another Jasmine. And then we will go ahead and we'll get our searches here because we've gained 500. And then from there, it's off to the races. It's just everything, right? You saw this all before, except we have an extra body, which is additionally very nice. So you need to know what to do here. We're going to go ahead and do a pretty standard play. Historically, we've always gone Lone Fire, Tribute Lily, Borea here for a body. And we're going to do it just like...
If you don't do that, you have to Tribute Bang in the combo.
Yep. And that's how we resolved it earlier in older Rikkavalon variants as well. So we're going to go ahead and make our Regulus before declaring the Petal effect. And
so we don't get plant locked.
The Snowdrop. Now we're plant locked, and we're going to go ahead and do the Melius to bring in the bang here. And then the beautiful thing about this combo is we can't get hit by Relinquished Anima because we put a Jasmine in the EMZ at the end of it. Just for the sake of protection. That's the only reason we do it here, and to get those bodies in the graveyard.
It also gives you a free follow-up Jasmine if they don't kill it, and your guys cannot be killed by battle when you wherever Jasmine points to.
Yeah, so you get to protect these really weak. If you wanted to get a Rosewhip in here, you could. We're going to show you a Rosewhip variant next. And you could put the Rosewhip where this teardrop is, or this Bangalancer is, to protect it from battle and stop your opponent from walking over. Because that's always a concern. I mean, it's not really a concern because usually you just blow their backs out completely with, all of your interruptions. They're not really going to have anything that can swing over on the field because in theory they're not putting anything on the field at all. But
right. This board's actually better than what we put up before the ban list, which is actually crazy. But yeah, I was trying to test to figure out because you have to use healer early, which kind of feels weird. But Laurel is an extender and not a brick. If you want to play multiple of them, you can. I don't see why you would, because you don't want to brick on more than one. But yeah, it works really good well.
Card. Really good little German boy. Or little German girl. Little German fellow. Goes absolutely crazy here.
Yep.
So let's move on to the next one here. This is the Loci with Rosewhip here. Pretty standard.
We didn't have Loci, or we don't have Rosewhip in the deck, so we are going to be using
using a proxy of Harpy's Feather Duster here. It's in the side, so, and we set it to best of 1. So we're just doing our normal new combo here, the way that we've just been doing it before. And we're getting that Borea, and we're getting that Udon. And we're going to continue to extend as intended here. We're going to grab our Regulus, and then we're going to link into the Melius and Reborn, and summon the King, and link into the Melius and Reborn, and we're going to twin. We're going to get the 3rd search here, and we are going to go for the Snowdrop. This combo variant is the exact same combo that you saw before, only with one minor difference at the end, and it's pretty obvious, and you probably could figure it out without us showing you, but I think it's important that everyone just knows. We're going to go ahead and tribute the Bangalancer here to special summon the Rosewhip from the deck. And this is going to be that difference, is we're tributing the Bangalancer. We're sacrificing Bangalancer's follow-up capability so that we can go ahead and make a Rosewhip on top of our previous board. So now we have our full board here. We still have the Bangalancer interrupt, but now we have a Rosewhip. If we're smarter about positioning, that Rosewhip would probably be in the center so we don't get relinquished Animud. But yeah, that's the variant there. Rosewhip.
The issue here is we don't get Petal in rotation here, because instead of going for Petal at the end, you're going for Rosewhip, which it depends on what you want to put up. I like putting up Rosewhip more than having Petal for follow-up, because Rosewhip is more impactful. But if you'd like it to be consistent, if you'd like follow-up and you don't want a card that stops your opponent from playing the game, just don't play Rosewhip and just do the original combo. It works the same. And you also don't have to tribute Bang.
In the matchups where Rosewhip is winning, it's just so unbelievably winning that it's worth playing over playing, that follow-up.
Yeah, like against Runic, I'd rather have Rosewhip versus a Petal Engrave. It always feels a lot better.
Yeah, exceptionally good. Very important. So that's how we do that here. And again, that was off 1 card. We have 4 more cards in our hand right now that are all blanks. They could be extenders or hand traps or defensive cards. And then our final replay here. This one's pretty important to know. The lines with Lily Borea in your opener are always going to be a bit different. Not by much, but you have to manage your bodies a little bit more intelligently. This doesn't change in this variant either. So what we're going to do here is we're going to continue as intended. We're going to start with the Lily Borea, of course, here. This Nibproofs our combo. And if they haven't drolled us here, if they drolled us here, we could go into a Dance Peon to gamble and pray. Which is usually the result. We also have the Sowing, so we can still extend pretty far. We're going to get our Regulus, and now we are Nibproof.
Regulus and 3 summons is really, really good.
Indeed. We're going to go through with our regular combo as intended, but we are going to be down a body. And that's where this really niche interaction that Devin picked up comes in, that I think is really cool as well. And he was testing, and he said, we need to use both of our Jasmines here to make the Bangalancer to have the extra body for the Mudan to summon. Because we can't just start printing Melius right now with the Jasmines, because that won't give us proper
doesn't do anything.
Circulation of bodies here. It doesn't really do anything for us. This, however, allows us to go immediately into our Rikka stuff, which gets us everything. And we get our Lone Fire back, and we go ahead and we summon this out, and we get our Hyperton, and we get our Petal in rotation for follow-up, and we have our Strenna here. Well, no, sorry. Strenna,
same board, you nib protection, except for Bang gets tributed.
Yep.
That's the only difference.
And then I'm sure some smarter players than us could actually probably figure out a way for this teardrop to be a Strenna. That's kind of where we've been struggling right now. As far as breaking the mold, we'd love for this to be a Strenna. and have all of the same implications of this board, is that we've still got this follow-up, and we still have this Petal printed engraved, and we've still done it off of just Loci. But we can't seem to find a way to keep that Strenna on board, because Strenna is naturally really good to have on your board, because you can just use it as a tribute, and then you get value on your opponent's turn, and it lets you play around cards like Dark Ruler no more. Not that they're particularly relevant in the format, but Teardrop is by no means a bad card to have on the field. It does the same thing. We still have all of the interruptions that we needed, and yeah, I mean, that's it.
It works really well. It does. I really like it. The only one dryas kind of hurts, but like if you full combo, you're full comboing, and when you do full combo, it's just over pretty much. I think the deck actually gets more powerful if you can full combo with Laurel. I do like the protection from Anima, and I do like my guys not being able to get beaten over by battle. I also really like the open extra deck slot for Alce, because there's lots of times where you put up a snowdrop and then you don't have an 8 to go into, and Alce is just really, really strong for grinding, especially. Like if there's like cards that you don't want on the field, Alce just tells them to put it either on the top or the bottom of their deck, or if they have a brick on their field and they have no cards in hand, just stick it back on the top of their deck, let them draw into it over and over again.
Indeed, this card
and
can
kill them.
Really, really turn the tides of a game. It's really useful in particularly niche matchups too.
It's just really strong. It is, and you can always go into a snowdrop too. If you don't need teardrop, and you just want to go into Alce, you can. It works really well.
Another additional tech card, of course. There are two other cards that we, consider naturally for the extra deck, even though they do lock us, or even though our extra deck does lock us out of plants, right? In our first action, it still is pretty good to have some of these cards like accessible for resources. You can always consider putting Typhon or Little Knight in. I think that they are equally valuable.
They are really strong.
Really, really good cards that kind of can just change the tide of a game like that. But like that's it. That's our Rikkavalon guide post January ban list here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Plant Posse. Yeah. Are we feeling really, that? Are we feeling Plant Posse?
We're looking forward to the deck. Seeing what the deck does post ban list, maybe changing it up. We'll definitely be posting more videos on Rikka.
Yeah, we'll
maybe some ladder.
Yeah.
Maybe some just to for the new players too that are new to Rikka, where a lot of the Rikka players that post on YouTube, they don't do ladder where you can actually watch them in action and solve how they're actually playing it out, and we can I don't know, it's just, if you guys want to comment what you guys want to see, we can do some ladder. We can even, while we're doing ladder, we can do why we're doing the moves that we do, trying to break boards.
Yeah,
if you want to see some more combos,
we could definitely do some more high quality, combos, some more combo tutorials. That this is just a video that we're making for the sake of getting out. It's gonna have minimal editing. We just want this to be known. I don't know if anyone has posted a combo like this yet, but just in case, we should just strive so that our entire plant community knows that we can still do it off of Loci if they want. I'm sure someone's found it, right? But we would like to make sure that we're spreading the good gospel, as it were.
Yep.
So just make sure that it's known that we can still
might as well have everybody have a fair opportunity to play the deck.
Absolutely, and we're gonna try and push, and innovate whatever. We've been kind of quietly labbing for a while and taking to some regionals and placing pretty decently. Not to the point where we're looking or anything. We just want to win them, but
yeah.
I think it'll be. I don't know. I think it'll be fun. Anyways, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I know this video is going to be pretty long.
Yeah, it will be. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, that notification bell for plant follow up. If you like this video and Rikka Petal will appear in your graveyard. Ooh.
Nah, if you guys just find this informative,
yeah, you actually support us. Like, and if you have any ideas for combo variants and like extensions and stuff, please just comment them. We love to test and we love to lab, and we kind of just like no life it whenever we get back from work, because it's just like a passion. But yeah, thank you guys for watching for our long ass video, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Have a good day.
So we'll go 3, 2, 1, beat, and then I'll go. I'm Dylan. I'm Devin, and we're the Plantsmiths, or something like that. It's so fucking corny.
It's so bad.